Hello and welcome to the channel. I am here for a ranking video for you guys. Now this is actually a different type of ranking video. For this video I'll be ranking all of the big four of thrash metal, and those of course being Metallica, Megadeth, Slayer, and Anthrax. So I'm going to be going from worst to best, and this is just based on my opinion, of course. As a matter of fact, I know that I feel like my opinions are rather unpopular when it comes to the big four. So yeah, I know that this ranking might stir a few people up, but I don't know. Keep in mind, this is just my opinion. You can leave your ranking in the below if you disagree. So we're gonna go for what I think is the weakest of the big four, in my opinion, and that being Slayer. Yeah, this is definitely where I think the disagreements come in. I'm personally just not a big fan of Slayer. I don't mind them. Like, Slayer is not like a band that I hate or anything, or just, you know, just dislike entirely or anything. I think that they're a fairly good band, but I don't know, something about their music just doesn't really do it for me that much as the other bands do in the big four. I understand that Slayer is probably the most popular besides Metallica in the big four, of course, but yeah, Slayer, definitely my least favorite of the big four. I know that's a rather unpopular opinion, but hey, it is what it is. Next up, we got Anthrax. Now, I will admit, Anthrax is not a band that I listen to a lot or anything, but I definitely really like these guys. I think that they are definitely a great band. I mean, consider albums like Among the Living, Spreading the Disease, and Persistence of Time, and just, yeah, many others in their discography. Even their latest album, For All Kings, I thought was a fantastic record. And yeah, Anthrax definitely has a lot of solid material in their catalog. I think that they're a really great band. I think a lot of people would actually put Anthrax at the bottom as far as this ranking goes, because I don't know, a lot of people seem to not really care about Anthrax as much as the other three in the big four. A lot of people kind of say that Anthrax doesn't really belong in the big four, like they should be replaced with another band or something, but I don't know. I like Anthrax, to be honest. I think that they're definitely a great band. Sure, they're not the best in the big four, but I don't think that they're the worst either, obviously. But Anthrax, good band. So next up, we got Megadeth. Now, Megadeth, since I have Megadeth at number 2, you guys probably know what number 1 is for me, and that is Metallica. So yeah, that was probably the quickest journey as far as my ranking goes to number 1. I'm going to kind of talk about Metallica and Megadeth, both, you know, together. So yeah, I would have to place Metallica at the top, specifically because they are the band that I enjoy the most in the big four. But it is a bit of a tough call, because I do have my days where I do like Megadeth more, and I have my days where I do like Metallica more. But I think most days I actually do lean more towards Metallica. One of the reasons being is the vocals. I definitely like the vocals in Metallica more than Megadeth, personally. Now, Dave Mustaine, I think, you know, the vocals in Megadeth are actually one of the biggest reasons why some people don't like Megadeth, and that's a little understandable. I mean, I think his vocals are fine. Sure, he's not like one of the best vocalists of all time or anything, but I think he's fine for the most part at what he does. I just prefer James Hetfield of Metallica in his vocals. But Dave Mustaine's still not bad. I mean, it really is hard to compare the two. Like I said, I have my days where I prefer Megadeth, and I do have my days where I prefer Metallica. But like I said, I just prefer Metallica more days, I think. Like, I just enjoy them the most consistently, I think. But we can't forget about the shining moments that Megadeth has. I mean, they have one of the greatest metal albums of all time, Rust in Peace, of course. That album is just, it's a 10 out of 10 album in my eyes. And it's one of the greatest thrash albums of all time, I think. And they have all other solid albums too, like Peace Sells, But Who's Buying, So Far So Good, So What, and many others in their catalog, I think. I especially really like the 80s and 90s work that Megadeth made, of course. Definitely great stuff. But even though Rust in Peace is considered a 10 out of 10 in my eyes, the thing is, like I said, I just enjoy Metallica more consistently. Because, you know, with Metallica, you got albums like Ride the Lightning, Master of Puppets, and Justice for All, even the Black Album, which is more commercial, of course, but I do like that album. I think it's really good, and yeah. Metallica wins for me, and I think Metallica is also a little more diverse than Megadeth. I think that might be another reason why I put Metallica at the top. Now, yes, I would agree that Megadeth is probably more consistent than Metallica, since, you know, in the 90s you had Load and Reload, and then in the 2000s you had Saint Anger, and yeah. I can definitely see how the consistency thing could definitely be a pro for Megadeth as well. But yeah, and I think another reason I also do prefer Metallica for the most part is it's more of a bias thing, I think, because Metallica was my first heavy metal band in the classic era. Like, they were the band that really got me into the classic era of heavy metal, like, because before then I wasn't really into older sounding metal. Like, I mostly listened to modern stuff. Actually, I just listened to modern stuff before Metallica. Now, sure, you know, I listened to some AC/DC songs back in the day, but like, my first band, like, actually getting into in, you know, classic metal, Metallica would definitely take the cake there. So for all these reasons, I do prefer Metallica for the most part. But like I said, there's competition, because Metallica and Megadeth, they're just, I mean, they're not far off from each other, you know? Like I said, I have my days where I do prefer one over the other, and vice versa. But for the most part, I just prefer Metallica, so I gotta go with them for number one. So there you go, guys. That is my ranking for the big four of thrash metal. I know this is rather unpopular, but just keep in mind, like I said, this is my opinion. Let me know what you guys think, and how would you rank the big four of thrash metal? Feel free to let me know in the comments. So with that being said, thanks for watching, have a nice day, and take care.